showing any pressure of playing out from under that great name. So Gwynn, left-hand batter like his dad, ready to climb in. He is an even 6 and about 190 pounds, born in Long Beach and lives in Poway. Went to San Diego State, and Tony takes a strike and the count 0-1. He signed with the Brewers for the bonus, not quite $1 million, when he was a junior at San Diego State. Strike one pitch on the way. Tony swings and strokes it to center, a leadoff single. So Tony Gwynn continues his impressive role as the leadoff man. 6 hits in his last 13 at bats. Let's take a look now at the Dodgers with the leather. That's Loney and Hudson for Call and Blake. The outfield of Pierre, Kemp, and Ethier, and the battery of Billingsley and Martin. So Gwynn, a leadoff single to center, and the batter now David Eckstein. The temperature at the start of the game, a comfortable 67 degrees. Eckstein, little right-hand hitter waiting at the plate, takes a strike. He pinch hit in that extra inning game against the Giants and against Arizona. And the game in which he pinch hit a 3-run home run against Arizona, he did that in the 9th inning, and that extended the game for 18. The strike one pitch to David Eckstein is swung on and fouled away. Eckstein hitting .249 with a home run and 21 runs batted in. He's hit safely in 11 of the last 13. So little David with Tony Gwynn over there at first. Eckstein really started to pick up his hitting right at the end of May. He's been a .340 hitter ever since. The next pitch is high. He had a very bad 2 weeks in May where he hit just .122, but he has been battling his way back, and he's up there now hitting .249. So Eckstein at the plate. Tony Gwynn inching off the bag at first. He is 2 out of 4 in stolen bases. And the 1-2 pitch, he bluffs, and there's a drive into right field, and that's a base hit. Over to cut it off is Ethier. Rounding second and diving back is Gwynn. So Chad Billingsley is being rudely treated here as Gwynn singles to center. Eckstein singles to right, and the veteran Brian Giles coming up. So Martin going out to talk to Billingsley as Giles waits at the plate. Giles has perked up a bit. He's hit safely in 12 of his last 15, 18 of his last 24. So Giles striking in, but he's still just hitting under 200. So a left-hand hitter who's had some very big years with Pittsburgh and with San Diego, trying to come back. And the first pitch in the dirt, and there goes Gwynn to third. The throw over, and they got him. So the rookie, Tony Gwynn, thinking he could get away when the pitch was in the dirt to Martin, and Russell nails him easily. 2-5, somewhat chagrined as Gwynn goes back to the dugout. So it's a bad play. Anytime you're out at third, of course, it's a bad play, because they always say you never come over unless you're convinced you can make it. So Gwynn is nailed, and relatively easy. Good reflex and action by Russell Martin. So 1 away. Giles waiting, 1 ball and no strikes. Out of his stretch goes Billingsley. Comes back, and there's a line drive base hit just over the glove of Furcal. So for Chad Billingsley, he has faced 3 batters, and he has given up 3 hits. But the Padres going backwards because of Gwynn's gamble. So they have 3 consecutive hits and nothing to show for it. But now they have somebody who can certainly give them something to show for it. Adrian Gonzalez not only has 22 home runs this year, 13 of the home runs have come in a losing cause. So he's the guy they look to try and get them well. And certainly, as he checks in right now, leading the major leagues in home runs, along with 43 RBIs and a .281 batting average. Adrian takes the first pitch low, ball 1. Adrian Gonzalez is hitting .310 in the past against Billingsley. And his brother, Edwin, is hitting .556. So Eckstein is at second, Giles at first with one out, and the toughest hitter in the lineup, Adrian Gonzalez, at the plate. He pulls one foul outside of first down the line, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, interesting thing about San Diego, we were talking about that 18-inning game they had with Arizona. In the 5.5 years of Petco's existence, there have been 20 games of 12 innings or more. And of course, last year they broke it in very well with some extra inning games. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Earlier this year they beat Cincinnati in a 16-inning game. Last year they lost to Colorado in a 22-inning game, and about a month later came back and beat the Reds in 18. So the Padres are well broken in as far as extra inning games are concerned. 1-2 the count. Out of a stretch goes Billingsley, trying to get an out, and the pitch fouled away right into and just about out of the San Diego dugout. Bouncing right over the head of the skipper, Bud Black. So Gwynn opened with a line drive single to center, Eckstein single to right. On a pitch in the dirt, Gwynn tried to go to third, Martin threw him out, and then Giles singled. So 2 on, 1 out, and Gonzalez up there, 1-2 the count. The 1-2 pitch, and Adrian fouls this one off, though he continues to hang tough. And for Billingsley, struggling a little bit here in the first inning. Adrian Gonzalez has really punched the time clock as Billingsley prepares to work him again. Gonzalez has played in 264 consecutive games. That goes back to August 14th of 2007. So he's gaining on Steve Garvey. The pitch inside gets behind Martin, and both runners will move up. So with all of Billingsley's troubles, he's been in the dirt twice, once produced an out, and this time the wild pitch moves the Padres to second and third. Steve Garvey, by the way, appeared in 305 consecutive games, though Gonzalez is getting closer and closer. So Billingsley has not gotten an out except to play at third, and now 2-2 the count to Adrian Gonzalez with Kevin Kuzminoff on deck. Now Kuzminoff has not hit Billingsley at all. First base open. They have the 3 Dodgers on the right side, and the pitch is swung on and missed. Adrian going after a pitch up and shakes his head as he walks away. It might have been out of the strike zone. It was rising, and it looked like it was above the letters, meaning out of the zone. So Adrian Gonzalez strikes out, and now with 2 down, Kevin Kuzminoff, who is just 3 for 17 in the past against Billingsley. That's a 174 batting average. For the year, the big third baseman hitting just 224. 5 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Fastball moves him off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. So the Padres, who were hitless for 9 innings, the last 9 of that 18-inning game, arrived here. Gwynn single to center, Eckstein single to right, Giles singles to center. There's been a wild pitch, but 2 out and still yet to score because Gwynn being nailed trying to go to third. The next pitch to Kuzminoff is fouled away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Kuzminoff, whose dad played in the NFL, so he has good athletic genes. Born in Newport Beach and went to the University of Nevada, Reno. His dad played for the Chicago Bears. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball inside. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. So Billingsley laboring but getting away with it. 2-1 to Kuzminoff. Eckstein down the line from third. Giles away from second. Remember, the Dodgers have beaten the Padres 9 out of 10 here at Dodger Stadium. Kuzminoff hits 1 foul off first down the line out of play, and the count 2-2. For Billingsley, getting quite a workout as Adrian Gonzalez no doubt talks about the opportunity that got away, striking out. 20 pitches for Billingsley. Number 20 is coming up right now. Dodger pitchers have been rather remarkable. They've held the opposition to a .235 batting average. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Kuzminov swings and bangs it into right center. That'll mean 2 runs, and just like that, the Padres are on the board. So Kuzminov, who does not hit Billingsley, comes up with a key base hit, and on the 4th hit, San Diego gets on the board.
Batting next, left fielder, number 7, Chase Headley.
So Chase Utley coming up as Kuzminov singles to right center field. Both Eckstein and Giles came in without a play. So Kuzminov at first, and the switch hitting Headley coming up, batting left-handed. He has pretty good numbers, hitting .266 from this side of the plate. Chase takes low, ball 1. He's also 3 for 7 against Billingsley. So the Padres leading the Dodgers 2-0 here in the very first inning. Headley's overall batting average only .232. 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. 1-1. Headley's overall average is brought down because he's a .180 hitter right-handed. So Chase Headley trying to keep the rally going as Kuzminov drives in 2 here in the first inning. Headley in and out of the box. Headley's from Fountain, Colorado, lives in Knoxville, Tennessee, went to the university there. 1-1 pitch, swung on and fouled off. 1-2 the count. Chase, among other things, was his high school valedictorian and an academic All-American. So 4 singles in the inning. The Padres lead the Dodgers 2-0. Billingsley hides the ball back of his right hip, now out of his stretch. Look back at Kuzminov, and the pitch off speed and away, and the count runs to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Billingsley in trouble here, and the deuce is all over the place. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 in, and the Padres lead 2-0 thanks to Kevin Kuzminov's base hit. Out of his stretch goes Billingsley. And his 2-2 pitch is strike 3 called, about letter high, and down goes Headley. However, the Padres get 4 hits, and at the end of half an inning, Padres 2 and the Dodgers nothing. The Dodgers coming up now, and we'll see their lineup is written out by the skipper Joe Torre. The Dodgers start with Juan Pierre, followed by Orlando Hudson, and then Andre Ethier. James Loney hits clean up at first base. Casey Blake at third. Russell Martin behind the plate. Rafael Furcal at short, Matt Kemp in center, Chad Billingsley on the mound. On the mound, big Chris Young, who has been struggling. If you look at the walk and strikeout ratio, he's averaging about 4.5 walks every 9 innings, getting himself into a lot of trouble. So the big right-hander, he's 6'10", makes his first pitch to Juan Pierre, and that's low, ball 1, 1-0. Young comes in 4-4, but he's 4-1 at home, 0-3 on the road. Ground ball to the right of Eckstein. David goes back, makes his play in time. So Pierre didn't hang around as he grounds out, 1 away. Let's take a look at the Padres defensively. Adrian Gonzalez and David Eckstein, Josh Wilson and Kevin Kuzminoff, Chase Headley, Tony Gwynn and Brian Giles in the outfield, Chris Young and Nick Hundley behind the plate. So 1 away, and the batter now will be Orlando Hudson. Manny Ramirez was out here today. In the words of Joe Torre, he looked good. A few more weeks. We're going to have some live pitching for him next week. We'll talk about it when we get back from Texas. And then as they pitch to Hudson as a strike, Joe said the plan is to definitely insert Manny back in the lineup on July 3rd. So here's Hudson batting .315. Young comes back to him and Orlando takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Orlando Hudson the old dog was being followed around by a puppy. What a beautiful young son he has. He's 4 years old. 1-1 pitch. Orlando hits a pop fly back to third, just inside, and now outside the line goes Kuzminoff to make the play. And boy, that little boy, everything you asked him, he wound up saying, sir. His name is Orlando, and he is all of 4 years old, and his dad really should be proud of that little guy. He is beautiful. 2 down in the first inning, and here comes Andre Ethier. Ethier, as you know, has been the walk-off man. Went through a struggle, and they all do, but he went through 24 games where he hit 195. And now the weekend with Philadelphia, 4 games, he hit 375. And of course, he had 4 clutch RBIs against Philadelphia over the weekend. So Andre hitting .271, 9 home runs, and 35 runs batted in, takes a strike. Ethier has given Young a very bad time. He's not only hitting .385 against him, he's hit 4 home runs against Chris Young. 1-1 pitch on the way, and Adrian fouls it back, and the count 1-2. Adrian and Andre. Chris Young at 6'10", 260, went to Princeton, as you can well imagine at his size. He was a basketball star as well as baseball. Big man ready in the 1-2 pitch on the way, and that's a drive to right field down the line. If it's fair, it might go. It is down the line and fair. Andre Ethier hits his 5th home run against Chris Young, and the Dodgers now trail just 2-1 for Andre Ethier as he moves around his 10th home run and his 36th run batted in.
First baseman, number 7, James
So Andre
Loney.
Ethier continues to give Chris Young a bad time. A towering fly ball just inside the pole, back in about 10 or 12 rows. And just like that, 2-1 in favor of San Diego. And the batter now is James Loney. Loney has a look, and that's off the plate, ball 1. Loney hitting .400 against Young, 6 for 15, hitting .292 overall, and the fastball is snapped low. 2 balls and no strikes. So the Padres on 4 singles get 2 runs and 1 swing of the bat by Andre Ethier, and the Dodgers get 1. Loney has a look at another pitch low. So all of a sudden, Young is on the edge, while Andre Ethier watching Orlando Hudson, either imitating him or exaggerating him while talking to Juan Pierre. The 3-0 pitch, and that's in for a strike, and the count 3-1. watching Andre Ethier going around the bases. Dodgers have had 7 walk-offs here at Dodger Stadium this year. 3-1 pitch a strike. And counting last year, the Dodgers have had 15 walk-offs. In other words, not only a home run, maybe a base hit, or in one instance, even a walk. 3-2 pitch on the way is swung on. Little ground ball to Eckstein. David is up with it to throw him out, and that's the inning. Chris Young walks off the field thinking, how in the world do I get Andre Ethier out? And at the end of an inning, Padres 2, Dodgers 1. Here hits his 10th home run of the year and his 5th home run in his young career against Chris Young. He's hitting about .395 against Chris with 9 runs batted in. So we go to the second. The Padres lead the Dodgers 2-1. The catcher, Nick Hundley, will start it off. Then it'll be Josh Wilson, the shortstop, and the pitch fouled away, and the count 0-1. Hundley hitting .237. He has 3 home runs. 11 runs batted in. So the Padres got 2 and the Dodgers came right back with 1. Billingsley ready, and his strike 1 pitch, breaking ball low, and a 1-ball 1-strike count. Talking about walk-offs, as we were, middle of May, Hundley had a walk-off 2-run home run in the 16th inning to beat Cincinnati. 1-1 pitch on the way, and that's popped in the air. In foul ground is Loney, waiting, and makes a catch for the out. So Hundley fouling out, 1 away, and the batter will be Josh Wilson. You may or may not remember the name Josh Wilson, but the last time we saw him, he was playing shortstop for Arizona and started a triple play. He has since moved over to come to San Diego. Josh, a Pennsylvania boy, born in Pittsburgh, lives in Mount Lebanon, and promptly lifts one foul off to the right. Loney over to take a look, but that's all. For Wilson, in a give-up game, that was that 18th inning, they had run out of pitchers. It was either going to be Josh Wilson or the catcher Henry Blanco to pitch, and Wilson almost got out of the inning for Bud Black, got within a strike. And then a 3-run home run by Mark Reynolds turned the lights on. The 3rd career pitching appearance, the 2nd this year. Now the 1-1 pitch to Josh, that's high, ball 2, 2-1. Wilson, originally a 3rd-round pick by the Marlins in 1999, and he's the first position player to pitch for 3 different teams since John Cangelosi High pop fly to shallow right. Hudson goes out and makes the catch for the out. So we have 2 down here in the second inning. And the batter will be Chris Young. You know, the Dodgers end the homestand tomorrow with the Padres. The first 50,000 fans in attendance take home a Dodger jersey cooler bag. Compliments of AM/PM. To secure your seat, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS today. Mom very busy feeding her offspring as big Chris Young takes a strike. Brings up that 6'10" strike zone. Chris has a half a dozen hits and 2 RBIs and has struck out less than a third of the time, so that makes him a problem. He takes a strike and the count 0-2. Padres 2, Dodgers 1. We're just starting second inning. Billingsley into the windup, and the strike 2 pitch drops in there. Strike 3 called. Third strikeout for Billingsley, who made 25 pitches in the first inning, but settled down remarkably only 9. And it's 2-1 San Diego. Little one, 2 little girls, obviously sisters. One's probably 8, one's about 4. But boy, you can tell they're of the same family as they stir in the seats waiting for the next inning to get underway. Meanwhile, the boys are also with us, and one youngster showing his swing to the other. Faces in the crowd. Wonderful to see the kids here in the ballpark. As we go to the second, 2 runs, 4 hits for the Padres. 1 run, 1 hit, home run by Ethier for the Dodgers. And Chris Young ready to go to work now against Casey Blake, then Russell Martin and Rafael Furcal. In looking at Casey Blake's work of late, it's interesting to check him home and away. Over the top fastball is in for a strike. Casey Blake at home is hitting .333 with 3 home runs. On the road, he's hitting .253 with a half a dozen home runs. At home, he has struck out 14 times, and on the road, Casey has struck out 28 times. Though the strike 2 pitch on the way, off the plate. When you look at the numbers, you say to yourself, well, maybe he swings harder on the road. There is certainly a glaring difference in home runs, strikeouts. 1-2 pitch on the way is taken low. He is also a far better hitter at home with runners in scoring position. .333 as compared to only .200 on the road. 2-2 to Casey. Into the windup goes Chris Young. Back he comes and stays high. 3-2 the count. Casey Blake against Chris Young. 2 for 10, one of the two a home run. Young back with a fastball pull foul outside of third and down the line. So Blake hits well, obviously, at Dodger Stadium, and Chris Young struggles on the road. 3-2 the count to Casey. Young into the windup. Chris ready. Next pitch is swung on, a towering fly ball. Gwynn started back, but now just holds his ground and makes the catch. So a fly ball to center, and we have one away, and Russell Martin coming up.
Dodgers catcher number 55, Russell Martin.
Russell Martin has had success against Chris Young in the past, hitting .304. Martin overall batting average .251 with 20 runs batted in. Game one of a very brief 2-game series with San Diego, but the Dodgers and Padres have already played 8 games, this being number 9 of the scheduled 18, and the Dodgers have won 6 of the 8. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's high, ball 2. We're not sure about the San Diego starting pitcher tomorrow. Clayton Kershaw, we know, will be on the mound for the Dodgers. 2-0 pitch on the way to Russell Martin is swung on and popped up on the infield. There is a gathering of the clan, and it will be David Eckstein behind the mound. So 2 down. And the batter now will be Rafael Furcal.
Number 50, Rafael Furcal.
The Padres, although they have not announced their pitcher, it would appear that they are leaning towards the former Giant, Kevin Correa. So we'll have to wait and see on Bud Black's choice. And Rafael Furcal checks in. Rafael has a home run against Young, but he's hitting only .171 against the big right-hander. Overall batting average .243, 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in, and Rafael takes low, ball 1. Furcal, of course, had that dynamite home run coming off the bench as a pinch hitter, but otherwise it's been a struggle for him. He takes off the plate, ball 2. Breaking it down, Rafael hitting .240 left and .250 right. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way, and that's taken very high, ball 3. 3-0. The Chris Young leading 2-1, second inning. And the 2-0 pitch to Rafael Furcal, and that's high. And to first base he goes. Thinking about that pinch hit home run that Furcal hit to tie up the game in the 9th inning against Brad Lidge. They have just put, the Phillies have just put Brad Lidge on the DL, knee problem, for at least 15 days. So Furcal draws a 2-out walk, and the batter now is Matt Kemp. Kemp hitting .304, half a dozen home runs, 31 runs batted in. He had a 10-game hitting streak, but it ended Sunday when he went 0 for 5. Young out of his stretch, a backward glance at Furcal. Now a throw over there, and Rafael goes back standing up. Furcal has not been a successful base stealer, 3 for 6. Break even is not good. Matt Kemp waiting. Young out of his stretch. Now the pitch as Furcal takes a short lead. Bluff's going, and the pitch is swung on and missed, and the count 0-1. 2 out, second inning. Dodgers have beaten the Padres 9 out of 10 at Dodger Stadium. Chris Young 0-3 on the road, though all the numbers seem to be in the Dodgers' favor, but San Diego leads. Throw to first, and a good fake by Adrian Gonzalez. He acted as if that throw was wild, trying to get Furcal. 0-1 the count. Just in case Furcal took that, but he did not. But it was a nice try by Adrian. 0-1 the count. Young set at the belt. Another look over at Furcal, and another throw over there, and Rafael back on the bag. The Dodgers played hit and run with Matt Kemp during the recent Phillies series, and that's rare because it's hard to put a play on when you have a strikeout hitter at the plate. Matt has struck out 57 times. So Larry Boa over there watching. There goes for a call on a pitch out and a throw into center field. Boy, you want to talk about being embarrassed. Wynn throws to third, and that gets away, but not far enough for Caldwell Hall. Nick Hundley on a pitch out throws the ball into center field. If you're a catcher, you can't really be more embarrassed than that. So Call steals second and goes to third on Hundley's overthrow, and I mean that throw was heading for you. So Hundley draws the error. Tying run now 90 feet away for the Dodgers, and Matt Kemp trying to pick him up. Chad Billingsley on deck, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Bud Black has seen a lot of things, and each one takes a little bit out of him, I'm sure. The 1-1 pitch coming up. And Young delivers, and it's swung on, hit with a gap in left field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Call will score, and the Dodgers have tied it up 2-2. So Matt Kemp brings Call home. So after the Dodgers spotted the Padres 2, they got one back in the first inning on the home run by Andre Ethier, and they pick up another here in the second inning to get even. So the batter is Chad Billingsley in a 2-2 tie in the second inning. Young set, looks over at Kemp, now works Billingsley, who swings and foul tips it, and the count 0-1. Matt Kemp is a very good base stealer. He has stolen 13 out of 15, but it is rare that you would run him with 2 out in case he's caught. Then, of course, you have to lead off the next inning with a pitcher. But we'll see. Matt short lead. Young out of his stretch. Looks over at him. Now comes back to Billingsley, and that swung on and missed. One thing about Matt Young, he has always had a lot of trouble with enemy base runners. Last year, opposition stole 15 out of 16 from him. The year before, 44 out of 44. But Billingsley swings and misses. Down he goes. Kemp stays at first, but he drives in the tying run. And at the end of 2, a 2-2 tie. On KCAL 9 is brought to you by CarMax, the way car buying should be, and by Corona and Corona Light, official sponsors of the Time Out. Relax responsibly. We have a 2-2 tie as we go to the third inning. Rafael Furcal brings it home after a stolen base and the base hit by Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp picking up the big ribby, and into the third we go. The leadoff man, Chris Gwynn, checks in, and he takes low, ball one, 1-0. An even 6, 190. He'll be 27 in October. Been up and down in the Brewers organization. Shows bunt, pulls a bat back, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. His nickname is Little T, naturally for Big Tony Gwynn. Little T came here. Jody Garrett went to the Brewers. The 1-1 pitch on the way, and young Gwynn takes low, ball 2, 2-1. I love the quote. He was talking about being the son of a great player. And he said, I'm definitely not the son of a former player who wants to get away from his dad. He foul tips it. I love the fact he was good, and I love talking about him. And if I can have the same name, that's fine with me. Tony hitting .333, heaves a little sigh, now gets back in. Had a right shoulder impingement. Hurt himself in February working out in San Diego, but otherwise he's in good spirits. Fouls it away. Last year he had a bad left hamstring, had to go on the DL. 2-2 the count. Billingsley into the windup, and the 2-2 pitch on the way in the dirt. Nice save by Martin. 3-2 the count. Billingsley made 25 pitches in the first inning, gave up 2 runs and 4 hits. Might have been more, except Gwynn tried to go from second to third on a pitch of the dirt, and Russell Martin threw him out. But then he cut his pitch count to only 9 in the second inning. 3-2 pitch on the way, a line drive base hit. Boy, you talk about a chip off of old block. So Gwynn is 2 for 2 and has done a wonderful job since coming to San Diego. And the batter now, David Eckstein. So the Padres have 2 runs on 5 hits. The deceptive thing about this game right now, Bud Black's club is piling up hits. They also have actually out-homered the Dodgers, and yet the Dodgers have scored more runs. So here's Eckstein, single to right field in the first inning. Gwynn has a pretty good lead, and the pitch to Eckstein in for a strike, and the count 0-1. One thing for San Diego, with runners in scoring position, they came in hitting only .215. But they did get 2 runs in the first. 0-1 the count to Eckstein. Out of the stretch goes Billingsley, and then a fake as he steps off the rubber. Padres have hit 18 more home runs than the Dodgers, and the Dodgers still have scored 78 more runs. 0-1 the count. Billingsley, a high set up around the letters, now works Eckstein down and dirty. Another block by Russell Martin, and holding on at first is Tony Gwynn. So Billingsley is certainly off his feed, at least at the beginning. Bouncing pitches, making a lot of pitches, but he's tied up 2-2. Padres have seen the team batting average go down in the last 3 months. In April, they hit .257, in May .226, in June .206. Another throw to first, Tony diving back to the bag. The 1-1 the count to David Eckstein. In fact, in the month of June, only Kansas City hit less than the Padres. Gwynn again off the bag, held on by Loney. Billingsley a look. Now to Eckstein. Line drive over a leaping Furcal. Over to pick it up is Matt Kemp. Stopping at second is Eckstein. So the top 2 hitters in the San Diego lineup have 4 hits between them. And with first and second and nobody out, Ryan Giles, the veteran right fielder, coming up. Furcal tried so hard to time it, went up the ladder, arm fully extended, and the ball was still at least half a foot beyond his glove. Well, Martin out to talk to Billingsley again. Giles singled in the first inning. O'Brien hitting 198. Of course, Giles has been around a long time, and you're startled to see that 198 batting average. He hit 306 for the Padres last year. At the same time, he's 38 years old. O'Brien, left-hand batter, open stance, bent at the knees and waist, takes a strike on the outside corner, and the count 0-1. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Padres in 2 innings plus. Top of the order, giving Billingsley a bad time. Now the strike 1 pitch coming up to Brian Giles. Billingsley works it low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So you have 5 hits amongst them, the top 3 hitters, Gwynn, Eckstein, and Giles, and we're only in the 3rd inning. 2-2 tie. Gwynn at second, Eckstein at first. 1-1 pitch on the way. Giles swings, fouls it at the plate. 1-2 the count. Brian, born in El Cajon, still makes his home in San Diego. Went to Granite Hills High School. He was originally drafted way back 20 years ago by the Indians. Up and down with them, then stayed with the Pirates for about 5 years, and then came to San Diego for good. 1-2 the count. 2 on, nobody out. Billingsley delivers, swung on, pulled foul outside of first. Nice stab by Rich Renteria, and the count stays 1-2. So Billingsley, who labored in the first inning, breezed in the second inning, and is right back to laboring again. He has now made 49 pitches, 33 strikes, so he's been on the plate, and they've hit him. The 1-2 pitch on the way is lifted to shallow left field. Ethier coming in and over to make the running catch, and the runners hold on. So 1 away. You know, you can join the Dodgers when they face the A's June the 16th through the 18th and park for free. That's right. Dodgers are offering free general admission parking for all 3 games to thank their fans, honor our community heroes during Heroes Week. Buy tickets online at Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS today. Parking for free, general admission parking throughout the Oakland series. Adrian Gonzalez struck out with 2 on in the first inning, hitting .280, and he has worn out Billingsley in the past, hitting with 22 home runs and 43 runs batted in, and probably whacks one down the right field line. Foul ball. Bounced up into the stand. Boy, he was all over that thing. 0-1 the count to Adrian Gonzalez. Adrian is one of those rare players. He is that good. He has walked more times than he has struck out. A far better hitter, so the numbers say, on the road, after leaving what most people say is a pitcher's ballpark at Petco. There's that one gap in right center. There's like 415 down there. 0-1 the count to Adrian Gonzalez, playing in consecutive game number 265. So he's 40 away from tying Garvey's 305 when Steve was with San Diego. Strike 1 pitch on the way, and Adrian lifts a fly ball to left. Going back is Pierre. Tagging up is Gwynn and Eckstein. Pierre for the catch, and the runners hold as Juan's throw comes into Casey Blake. So 2 fly balls, runners holding, and with 2 out, Kevin Kuzminoff coming up. So Pierre not only made the catch, he got that ball back in a hurry. We mentioned a little while ago that the San Diego Padres have really struggled with runners in scoring position, and they are struggling right now. They had 2 on and nobody out, and Bud Black has seen 2 fly balls. So here's Kevin Kuzminoff. Out of his stretch goes Billingsley, delivers. Kuzminoff pulls it to Blake. Casey the long way and gets it over there in time. So 2 wasted leadoff singles by the Padres, and at the end of 2.5 innings, we have a 2-2 tie. Two-two as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Juan Pierre, Orlando Hudson, and then Andre Ethier. Chad Billingsley has made 53 pitches. One of the things that's slowing Billingsley down, the fact the Padres have had 15 foul balls. So if you subtract that, then he's only made 38 pitches. But the foul balls are kind of eating him up. Juan Pierre takes a strike. Pierre grounded out in the 1st inning. Then Hudson and Ethier. Big Chris Young comes back 0-1, and that's high. 1-1 to Pierre, hitting .358. Juan with 21 runs batted in. The 1-1 pitch on the way, fastball strike, 1-2. When you watch Young pitch, you think he should never have a sore arm. I mean, he is directly over the top. He really gets his back into it. And the next pitch fouled away. I've always felt one of the best pitchers I ever saw, because he pitched out of a textbook, was Tom Seaver when he was with the New York Mets. Watch Tom, you had the feeling he could pitch forever. The next pitch fouled back by Juan, so he's still there, 1-2. Interesting that Young is 0-3 on the road. Chris Young and Ali Reynolds are the only major league pitchers to have gone 25 road starts without a loss in his background. Fly ball, a trio of Padres, and Chase Headley on the run makes the catch for the out. Yeah, Young went 25 starts on the road without a loss. That streak ended here in April back in 2007. But of course, anytime you can get your name locked in with the great Yankee right-hander Ali Reynolds, you've really done something. But now, ironically, he can't win on the road. 0-3. So here's Orlando Hudson, fouled out in the 1st inning, takes low, ball 1. 1-0. Padres got 2 in the 1st inning. Ethier homered. Dodgers came back on a walk, stolen base, throwing error, and a single to tie it up. And the 1-0 pitch is whacked into left field. Back goes Headley on the track and makes the catch for the out. So 2 fly balls, 2 out in the 3rd inning. And here comes Andre Ethier, who has certainly worn out Chris Young. Ethier hit his 10th home run of the year his 5th home run against Chris Young. He's hitting about .390 and then moved that up to over .407 with the 5 home runs against Young. Chris into the windup, and the pitch to Andre is whacked into right center field. Giles goes back. He's hit another one. And it's 3-2 Dodgers. Has hit 2 home runs in the 1st inning and in the 3rd. That gives him 11 home runs for the year, and he has a half a dozen home runs against Chris Young in his career. You start to wonder what Young is going to do. Maybe throw underhanded to Ethier next time up. So here is James Loney, and he takes very high. Ball 1, 1-0. For Chris Young, and looking at his numbers, he has now given up 9 home runs this year. The 1-0 pitch on the way, fastball, high strike, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. So Andre Ethier gives the Dodgers a 3-2 lead here in the 3rd inning. Loney, a high fly ball to center. Wynn has room, still on the grass, and makes the catch for the 3rd out. So Young, a fly ball pitcher there in the 3rd inning, and one of them goes out as Andre Ethier takes him downtown a 2nd time tonight. And the Dodgers 3 and the Padres 2. Baseball on KCAL 9 is brought to you by Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA, and by Lexus and the newly expanded IS line. Now there's one more way to live a little, a lot. Dodgers lead 3-2 over San Diego, with Andre Ethier hitting 2 home runs in his 2 at-bats against Chris Young. That's a strike to Chase Headley. Headley struck out in the 1st inning. Talking about Andre Ethier for the moment, it is the 5th multi-home run game in his career, but more importantly, it's the 4th this year. So he is really coming of age. 1-ball, 1-strike. Ball 2. A couple of years ago, back in 2006, Ethier had 2 home runs off Young in the 2nd and 3rd innings. Tonight he has done it in the 1st and 3rd. 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chase Headley. When anyone talked about the San Diego Padres farm system, they always brought up the name Headley. He was their #1 prospect. Chase last year hit .269 for San Diego. Another foul ball. Headley has hit safely in 5 of the last 9. Interesting too, he's hitting .286 on the road. 9 of his 11 multi-hit games have come away from home. Foul tip, down he goes again. So Billingsley now has 4 strikeouts. The Dodgers have 3 runs on 3 hits. The Padres have 2 runs on 6 hits. And the batter will be Nick Hundley, who fouled out in the 2nd inning. Hundley had that very embarrassing moment for any catcher with Furcal going. He had a pitch out, had him dead to rights, only to throw the ball into center field. Right. Nick is from up north in Oregon. Lives now in the state of Washington, but when he went to school, he went to the University of Arizona. And another strike. Hundley's 25. He'll be 26 in September. Of course, the feeling in San Diego with new ownership, if they don't produce, they're going to hit the road. Gone. Just missed on a check swing. No swing, says Jim Reynolds. You have the brothers Welke umpiring in this series. Tim Welke is behind the plate, and Bill Welke is umpiring at third. Tim is the crew chief. He's had 25 years, where Bill Welke's had 9.5. One ball and 2 strikes. Another bounce curveball. 2-2 the count. Dodgers 3, Padres 2. We're in the 4th inning with 1 out. And a line drive down the left field line, just inside the chalk, all the way to the wall. By the time Pierre gets it into second base with a stand-up double goes Hundley. So the Padres now have the tying run out there with 1 out. And Josh Wilson, the young shortstop, coming up. So Pierre had to go and get it. The ball hugged the wall. So Nick Hundley, 7th double of the year, 7th hit for San Diego. And here's Josh Wilson. His father, Mike, is the head baseball coach for Duquesne University. And he hits the ball to the gap in right center, but it's slicing to Ethier. So that's a room service fly ball. It helped that it would slice, and Wilson walks back empty-handed. 2 down, and Chris Young coming up. 3 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 7 hits for the Padres. As we mentioned earlier, Padres have 58 home runs. Ethier comes up with 2 tonight. The Dodgers have 42. So the home run has not been the difference. In the dirt, starting to go to third, and now hung up for Cole. Fires to Blake. They got him. That's a bad play for 2 reasons. Basically, you never want to make the last out at third, and that means the pitcher leads off the next inning. 3-2 Dodgers. Dodgers, our CarMax text question tonight: which National League leader surprises you the most? What about Miguel Tejada hitting .354? How about Adrian Gonzalez with his 22 home runs? Or how about Raul Ibanez with his 54 runs batted in? Text your answer to 86212 on your cell phone, and it will be interesting to see your thinking. Dodgers now have Casey Blake, Russell Martin, and Rafael Furcal in that order. Casey out in front of that pitch, 0-1 the count. I think Casey guessing fastball. He really started the swing, and he got a 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. We're talking about the league running on Chris Young. In 06, the league 41 out of 45 stolen bases. 07, 44 out of 44. And then last year, 15 out of 16. He has given up the stolen base to Rafael Furcal, but that was really Hundley's fault. Anytime you call and get a pitch out and you've got the runner dead to rights, but he threw it into center field. Ground ball to Kuzminov. 1 away. Clayton Kershaw on the mound tomorrow night. That'll be the final game of this brief 2-game series and of this exciting homestand that featured games against Arizona, Philadelphia, and the Padres. Dodgers will spend the weekend in Texas and then come home to play Oakland. So Clayton blowing his bubble, chewing the gum as a spectator tonight. 0-1 the count to Russell Martin. Russell batting .250. And that's on the inside corner. So Martin in a hole now. No balls and 2 strikes. Remember, in 07, he hit 19 home runs. Then last year that dropped off to 13, and so far this year, none. Zip. One and 2 the count. On deck, Rafael Furcal. Ground ball wide to third. Stumble, pick up. Kuzminov bounces it and throws it away. No advancement. Hundley's right there. So Kuzminov had trouble, and because of that, it will go as a base hit. Kevin losing his balance, lunging for the ball, and then couldn't make it. So Martin gets an infield single, and the batter will be Rafael Furcal. Dodgers have 3 runs on 4 hits. The Padres 2 runs on 7 hits. One reason that the Padres are behind is the fact the Dodgers have been able to shut down Adrian Gonzalez in his first 2 at-bats. I mean, Adrian came up with 2 on in the first inning and struck out. He came up with 2 on in the 3rd inning and hit a lazy fly ball to left field. So he's the big man. You quiet that motor and the Padre car just couldn't go. In there. This is the 3rd time the Dodgers have seen Young this year. Young beat them back on the 7th of April and picked him on. The Russell Martin just finding out about the out call and slowly walks away. Martin didn't have that big a lead, but a quick tag, couldn't get that right hand back on the bag. Right there. and he didn't realize he's out. He gets up and then all of a sudden got the news. So 2 down in the 4th inning. 0-1 the count for call. 1-1. Raphael walked, stole second, advanced on the throwing error, came home on a single by Matt Kemp. High foul, out of play. Still 1-2. Young beat the Dodgers on the 7th of April. He went 6 innings, allowed 2 earned runs. Then he came right back on May the 2nd, allowed only 1 earned run, and was not involved in the decision. Pop fly to Wilson. So an easy inning for Big Chris, especially nailing Martin. And at the end of 4, Dodgers 3, Padres 2.
On KCAL 9 is brought to you by Infinity, luxury cars that inspire at every turn. And by Verizon Wireless, America's largest mobile-to-mobile calling family.
3-2 Dodgers as we go to the 5th inning. Chris Young was left at the plate when Hundley tried to move over him, was nailed between 2nd and 3rd. Padres have had 2 runners out at 3rd base in the first 4 innings. All right, 0-1. 3 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 7 hits for the Padres. Dodgers, by the way, are 14-5 in 1-run games. And they have the brilliant record of 11-1 here at Dodger Stadium. So they cut him thin, but they cut him in their favor. 2-1. Slap foul down the line. 2-2. Chris had a big D, of course. Born in Dallas, makes his home now in San Diego. He wrote his senior thesis in Princeton on Jackie Robinson, did Chris Young. Talking about Robinson's impact on racial stereotypes in the media. Line drive foul, so Young's still there. Among other things, a few years ago, he added about 20 pounds of muscle and worked out 5 days a week with Oral Hershiser. And he's still hacking away. Another thing that Chris did 2 years ago, he was then a teammate of Greg Maddux, and he went to Las Vegas and went to a physical therapist there, a fellow who did great muscle work with Tiger Woods. Ball 3. How about Tiger Woods winning the Memorial? The battle. So Chris Young, adding to Billingsley's problems with foul balls, gets the walk. You know, you can follow the Dodgers on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com at Bat 2009, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Visit Dodgers.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to purchase. Tying run at first. The Dodgers are not going to hold the bag on Young. That's a strike to Tony Gwynn, who is 2 for 2. 0-1 the count to Tony. Tony hitting .346 in the dirt. Billingsley has spent a lot of time in the dirt tonight. So is Russell Martin trying to block him. 1 ball and 1 strike. And good pitch outside corner. 1-2 the count. Well, Billingsley, certainly not an artistic game. Gave up 4 hits and 2 runs in the first inning, 2 more hits in the third, a double in the fourth, and a walk leading off the fifth, but he's leading. That's foul back, so young Tony is still there. When Tony was in high school, he was drafted in the 34th round, but he opted to go to college. 1-2. And 2-2. And looking at Gwynn's numbers, you know he's hitting well. He has walked 9 times, struck out 10. 10 strikeouts in about 60 plate appearances. 2-2. And ball 3. The Brewers picked Tony Gwynn in the number 2 slot in the 2003 draft. Well, they were very high on him. 3-2. Young's not going anywhere, and the pitch is fouled away. They tell a story about 2007. Tony found 8 shoe boxes sitting in front of his locker after the morning workout. Each contained a pair of spikes designed by his dad. 3 pair featured black and red of the Nashville Sounds. That was his destination. 5 more were Brewers blue and gold, and 1 pair mustard yellow and gray blue. And as young Tony said, my dad gets on the internet and just loses his mind. Well, he's got the Padres spikes on tonight. Three and 2. Nobody out. Young was not going on the last pitch. Foul back. So we mentioned earlier when we were keeping track of it that there were 15 foul balls to wear out Billingsley. There have been a heck of a lot more ever since. So he's hanging 3-2 with Gwynn. And a drive to right, and that ball is going to be a one-hopper into the stands. That means Young has to stop at third on the ground rule double. And for Tony Gwynn, wearing a Padre uniform, it's as if his dad is out there as he goes 3 for 3.
Padres, number 3.
And Rick Honeycutt going out to try to solve the problem for Chad Billingsley. So Billingsley gave up 2 singles to center to Gwynn, and now the bouncing double. So Tony is all smiles, 3 for 3. His father was a magician in hitting the ball through the hole between second and third. I mean, it was like he had a radar gun, the way he could wear out that one particular spot. Naturally, if you got a ball inside, Tony Sr. would pull it. Well, his son pretty much did the same thing, just put the bat on the ball the first 2 at-bats and singled to center, then got a ball he could pull and one-hopped it into the lower deck. So Billingsley struggling after going 3-2, and Young kind of wore him out. Then he went 3-2 as Gwynn wore him out, and now second and third, nobody out, and David Eckstein at the plate. 0-1. To give you an idea what's happened to Billingsley in this inning, Chris Young, the pitcher, had a 9-pitch at bat. Tony Gwynn just had a 10-pitch at bat. 0-1 to Eckstein. In the dirt, blocked nicely by Martin. Interesting how Dodger pitchers seem to really bear down. I mean, we're talking just about 60 games. Dodger opponents are hitting less than 200 with runners in scoring position. That's another reason why the Dodgers are so good in those one-run games. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's a strike. Billingsley now has made 88 pitches, so he's been carrying a safe on his back. Young wore him out and walked. Gwynn wore him out and then doubled. 1-2 to Eckstein, who is 2 for 2. Oh, nice save by Martin. That would have been a wild pitch. 2-2. By the way, Billingsley has 3 wild pitches. Nice save. So Martin working very, very hard as Billingsley mostly down. It's not like he's high wild, but he's been in the dirt a lot. And a little fly ball to right field. Young is not going to come. Ethier will make the catch, and the big pitcher just holds his ground. So there's another wasted at bat for Eckstein and the Padres. 1 away. Now you have Brian Giles and Adrian Gonzalez. Giles singled in the first inning. Came up with 2 on and 1 out in the third and flied to left. For Billingsley, he is ready to make his 25th pitch in the inning. He made 25 pitches in the first inning. So it has really been a struggle for him. But he's leading 3-2. And ball 1. Naturally, as the starting pitcher, he's required to go 5. And he's in that spot now with second and third. He could win, lose, or have nothing to do with it. 1-0. And ball 2. Well, it's going to be asking a lot to go head-to-head for the 3rd time with Adrian Gonzalez and get away with it. 2-0 the count to Brian Giles, and Gonzalez waits. Two and 1. Foul ball. Padres got 2 in the first inning. Ethier homered in the first. Dodgers stole a run in the second, and then Ethier homered in the third. So it's 3-2 Dodgers. The lead definitely in jeopardy here in the fifth inning with one out. Check swing. They're going to look. No swings to Bill Welke to his brother Tim. 3-1 to count to Brian Giles. Giles has always been a guy who walked more than he has struck out. Not quite this year. 26 strikeouts, 23 walks. 3-1. And a ground ball to short. Furcal looks and then goes to first. The tying run scores. Moving over to third is Gwynn, and Adrian Gonzalez will be coming up. The Giles grounds out, picks up a run batted in.
First baseman, number 23, Adrian Gonzalez.
So there you see 96 total, 29 in the inning. And now he wants to avoid a possible loss. They're going to take the bat out of Adrian Gonzalez's hands. They've rolled the dice twice against him and gotten away with it. But they don't want to press their luck, and Kevin Kuzminoff on deck. Kuzminoff got the base hit to drive in 2 in the first inning and grounded out in the third. So Adrian Gonzalez getting another walk. It's the 8th time this year that he's been walked intentionally. He's been walked 48 times. And you can see those numbers. You saw them fleetingly, but they've been pitching around him. Last 6 games, 12 walks. The previous 8, they dared him, and he has a half a dozen home runs. So he'll get the walk. First and third, 2 out. And Kevin Kuzminoff coming up. We have a 3-3 tie.
Third baseman, Kevin Kuzminoff.
Kuzminoff had not hit Billingsley in the past. He was just 3 for 17. But he did get that base hit. Last time up, grounded out, 1 for 2. So Gonzalez at first, Gwynn at third, 2 out, and ball 1. And again, Billingsley has been in the dirt so many times. Martin has come up with so many saves. And Chad now is ready to make his 35th pitch in the inning. And little ground ball to Orlando Hudson, and that'll be that. So it has been a struggle, but for Chad Billingsley, he now is in a spot, for the moment anyway. He can't lose. He might even win. It's 3-3 in the fifth.
9 is brought to you by Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime.
We have a 3-3 tie, bottom of the 5th inning. Chad Billingsley made 35 pitches in the 5th inning. Chad now has made 102 pitches in 5 innings. Meanwhile, Chris Young getting the minimum out of the maximum. Every time you look up, the Padres have a rally, but they only have 3 runs, and we're 3-3. Matt Kemp will start it off. Then it'll be Billingsley and Juan Pierre. For the Padres, it is a familiar story. They are 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. And we were mentioning the fact that foul balls are wearing Billingsley out. There have been 24 foul balls, which of course takes a lot out of Billingsley, and Matt Kemp takes a lot out of Chris Young. Home run, Dodgers lead 4-3. Three home runs hit by the Dodgers tonight against Chris Young. And for Matt Kemp, no doubt about it, home run, his 7th of the year. So it is 4-3 in favor of the Dodgers. And now Chad Billingsley comes up after all that work to possibly get a win. And Chad, a big enthusiastic swing, 0-1. So Matt Kemp drives it out. And the Dodgers, with 2 home runs by Ethier, 1 by Kemp, lead 4-3. Well, if Billingsley was tired after 102 pitches, that home run by Kemp has to make him feel a lot better. 1 away as he grounds out. So Matt Kemp had singled in the run in the 2nd inning and then homered. So he's 2 for 2, 2 RBIs. Now the batter will be Juan Pierre. Pierre grounded to 2nd and flied to left, 0 for 2. Juan starting his 31st game in left field, hitting .356. Over that span of 30 previous games, the Dodger record is 18-12. Bunt fouled away. 1-1 to count to Juan Pierre. 13 stolen bases. He's 3rd in the league. 1-1. So Pierre giving the Dodgers a tremendous lift. When Manny left, Pierre took over and didn't miss a beat. Now 2-2. Comebacker, and at 6'10", that was easy for Young to just reach up and get it. 2 out in the 5th inning. Chris Young was approached by the Sacramento Kings about playing in the NBA, but he opted to stay in baseball. It certainly paid off for him. Last year in April, he signed a 4-year deal, which runs its course next year. And the Padres have an option for 2011. So he figures to be around a while. And working on Hudson, who fouled out, fly to left, 0 for 2. Orlando batting .312. One ball and no strikes. Back 1-1. Dodgers 4, Padres 3. Dodgers 4 runs, 5 hits, 3 of which have been home runs with the bases empty. Padres 3 runs, 8 hits. They have 2 doubles and 6 singles. That's a strike. 2-2 to Orlando. Waiting on deck, Ethier. Well, now Young is thinking the last guy I want to put on is the fella hitting in front of Ethier. And I've gone as far as I can go. And a high drive into right center field. Gwynn going back to the track at the wall. Gone. So Young didn't want to look at Ethier, and Hudson hits it out. And the Dodgers have homered 4 times against Chris Young and increased their lead to 5-3. For Orlando, Hudson, that would be his 4th home run of the year. For Hudson, it's been a little while. His last home run was against San Diego in April. And now here comes Ethier. So if it's not one lightning bolt, it's another. And there's ball 1. So the Dodgers putting on a show tonight with 4 home runs. They give the team 44. Padres have 58, but it hasn't helped them any. Young, by the way, is due to bat 4th when the Padres come up in the 6th inning. 5-3 Dodgers. Second time this year that Chris Young has given up 4 home runs. Wait a minute. No, that's going to be caught. It's the second time this year the Dodgers have hit 4 home runs. And at the end of 5-3 Dodgers. Wonderful pitching matchups down through the years. Let's say Dizzy Dean against Carl Hubble. Later on, Sandy Koufax and Juan Marichal. And how about today, back in 1988, Nolan Ryan and Oral Hershiser. Hershiser got the win 4-2 and picked up the Cy Young Award as well. Let's go back to this one. '88. A memorable year indeed. Meanwhile, Chase Headley, who has struck out twice, fouls off the first one. So again, to repeat, second time this year and in his career, Chris Young has given up 4 home runs. and it's the second time the Dodgers have done it this year. 1-1 the count to Chase Headley. 5-3 Dodgers, but you have the feeling that Chad Billingsley has been doing a high wire act in a windstorm ever since Tony Gwynn led off the game with a base hit. I think most pitchers would agree with the great Warren Spahn, who said he felt very fortunate if he had his good stuff 70-75% of the time. Foul ball. So Headley will have to get another bat. 1-2 the count. So there's times when you don't have your good stuff. That's when you really find out about a pitcher. And we're certainly getting a good look at Chad Billingsley under fire with Brent Leach and Guillermo Mota throwing back of him in the pen. Remember, he made 102 pitches in the first 5 innings. Looking at Chad's pitch count, he made 123 pitches. That was in Philadelphia the middle of May. One and two the count to Chase Headley. Then Nick Hundley and Josh Wilson. And there it is again. Those dreaded foul balls. Remember what took so much out of Billingsley in the 5th inning? That 9-pitch at bat for Young and a walk, a 10-pitch at bat to Gwynn and a double. Another foul ball. Maddening for Billingsley. So Chase Headley trying to get something started here in the 6th inning. Dodgers have beaten San Diego 6 out of 8, all 4 times here, and they split 4 in San Diego. And coming inside on him to blow him away. 3rd time that Headley is struck out tonight.
Padres catcher number 4, Nick Hundley.
5 strikeouts for Billingsley. And the batter now Nick Hundley, who fouled out and doubled. So far in keeping track of those foul balls, 29 of Billingsley's pitches have been fouled off. 29. Oh, 1 to count to Hundley. Padres have had 2 runners thrown out at 3rd base tonight. Fastball a little low. He hit 95 with it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ow, that got him. And that was a fastball at 93. So Hundley gets to first the hard way. Fastball right up and in on him.
Shortstop number 14.
He had no way to get out of the way of that thing. Billingsley has hit 5 batters this year, and Hundley, the catcher, obviously in pain, but the Padres waiting to see if he can continue. For Hundley, first time that he's been hit by a pitch this year. So Billingsley and Martin put their heads together. Josh Wilson, the shortstop, will be checking in. They're still trying to make sure that wrist works. 93-mile-an-hour fastball on the wrist. Right there. That thing just went in and bit him. So Hundley at first with 1 out, and here's Josh Wilson. 0 for 2, popped up, fly to right, and fouled away. So at least 30 foul balls. Will Venable, and if you remember that last name Venable, you may remember his father He's out on deck. Oh, and 1. One and 1. Down in the bullpen, Edwin Marino, who just came up. They sent Joe Thatcher out. 1 and 2. There's Moreno. This is one of those games where Billingsley really has to reach way down inside to stay in it. And he's leading 5-3. 2 and 2. He has now made 116 pitches. Told you his high is 123. Will Venable, his dad Max, played in the major leagues for over 12 years, out on deck. Fastball slapped to right, but it's slicing. Comes to the room service. So 2 down, and the batter now will be Will Venable. Though we've been looking at Tony Gwynn's son tonight, now we look at Mac's son. Will, born in Green Bay, California, he too went to Princeton. And Joe Torre now going out to the mound. Will Venable, left-hand batter, has power. He hit a dozen at Portland before they called him up. So there they are, the 2 chips off the old block. Venable on the left, Gwynn on the right. Will, as you can tell, is far bigger. He is 6'3", 225. Tony is an even 6, about 190, and we'll be back.
Attention, please. Now coming into pitch for the Dodgers, number 45.
Muscle. Andre Ethier hits a home run in the first inning, his 5th in his career against Chris Young. Came up again and got a low fastball and hit another home run against Chris Young. For the big right-hand pitcher, however, it was far from over. Matt Kemp hit a home run in the 5th inning, all coming with the bases empty. And finally, Orlando Hudson reached the stand. So the Dodgers, in 5 innings of at-bats, have hit 4 home runs and lead 5-3. It was truly a gutsy performance by Chad Billingsley. 117 pitches. He labored from the very minute Tony Gwynn led off the game with a single, but he got the admiration of his ball club because he really hung in there. So now here is Will Venable facing Brent Leach. Fastball is a shot up the middle for call, feeding Hudson, who is out at second. Boy, it looked there for a split second like Hudson was going to be late. And Furcal opted to go to him. Little fancy play around second base. Take another look at that one. Up the middle. Here's Furcal. Hangs it. Boy, was that close. And at the end of 5.5, 5-3 Dodgers. Orlando, and you freeze it. I mean, you take your pick. Look at that. Second base umpire Angel Campos called Hundley out, and the Dodgers were out of the jam. You don't see shortstops hang the ball to the second baseman like that on almost the other side of the bag. That was really one for the books. So the Dodgers leading 5-3, and Edwin Marino is called in from the San Diego bullpen. Chris Young, who had beaten the Dodgers earlier this year, gave up 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. But of the 6 Dodger hits, 4 home runs. Ethier 2, Hudson, and Kemp. Brent Leach made 1 pitch to get out of the jam. Edwin Marino is from El Mohan in Venezuela. He was originally signed by the Rangers. He's 28. He'll be 29 the end of July. 6'1", but about 175 pounds. And basically, fastball, slider, and a changeup. He was picked from the Rangers by the Phillies and eventually wound his way into the San Diego system. So Moreno ready to work to Loney, Blake, and Martin. Ball 1. James Loney grounded out and flied to center. 0 for 2. And a drive to center. Gwynn is there. 1 out. So Marino takes care of Loney. Now it's Casey Blake to contend with. Casey flied to center and grounded out. Padres will have the top of the order in the 7th inning. That means Gwynn, Eckstein, and Giles. They have 6 hits amongst them. Gwynn with 3, Eckstein with 2, Giles with 1. Right. Eckstein 2 singles. Gwynn 2 singles and a double. Giles a single. That's a strike. 0-2. And looking at Moreno, they have been moving pitches around of late. For Moreno, up and down, this is his 17th game. Joe Thatcher was sent out. Bud Black and his pitching coach Darren Balsley find themselves 3 games under 500 and 11 games back of the Dodgers. Dodgers trying to make it 10 out of 11 at Dodger Stadium against San Diego, and trying to beat them 7 of the 9 meetings this year. 2-2. Three and 2. So Blake with Martin on deck. Fastball pop foul behind the plate. Hundley coming back, but no play. Nick apparently okay, didn't show any problem after being hit on the wrist. Meanwhile, Casey waiting, 3-2. The man from Indianola, Indiana. Well, now it's time for the Dodgers to return the favor and foul some off. Boy, that had to really weary Billingsley with 30 foul balls at least. Three and 2. Foul ball. That almost got Matt Kemp. He was running out of the way. Clayton Kershaw, Randy Wolf. That scattered a few of them like that. Look out, guys. Hiroki Kuroda, they would have gotten 3/4 of the staff. Still 3 and 2. Ground ball to the left off the glove of Josh Wilson. So Casey's aboard with a single. And the batter will be Russell Martin. So Blake 1 for 3.
Number 55, Russell Martin.
Russell Martin has popped up and singled when Kuzminov, going to his left, lost his balance, fell down. Tried to throw him out and couldn't do it. So Casey Blake, who is hitting .333 at home, is doing exactly that now. There's another one that has Kuzminov going to the dirt as it bounces into left field. So Martin gets a base hit. He's 2 for 3. Blake is 1 for 3. And Kuzminov is 0 for 2 in his chances to get at the ball. So Moreno now has given up back-to-back singles, and with 1 out, Rafael Furcal, who has walked and scored a run and popped ashore. Dodgers lead 5-3, each side with 8 hits. But 4 of the Dodger 8 hits are home runs. 2 of the Padre 8 hits are doubles. 1 away. Blake at second, Martin at first, Kemp on deck. Little comebacker. Moreno's only play is to first, so the runners move out. 2 down with first base open. Matt Kemp coming up. By the way, the next 3 Dodger ball games, the final game of this series tomorrow night with Clayton Kershaw, and the Padres have now announced it will be Kevin Correa. Then the Dodgers will go to the Heat of Texas, Hiroki Kuroda and Vicente Padilla. That'll be Friday. Saturday, Randy Wolf and Scott Feldman, and as you can see, tomorrow Prime Ticket, then Friday KCAL 9 and back to Prime Ticket again. So no surprise that they're going to walk Kemp. Now we'll see what Joe Torre does as far as Brent Leach is concerned, because the Padres have 2 of the 3 left-hand hitters, Gwynn and Giles, coming up. But nevertheless, Mark Loretta is now going to come up and bat for Leach. So in a moment, the bases will be loaded with 2 out, and Mark Loretta coming up. Ronald Belisario is warming up in the Dodger bullpen. So sitting quietly in the Dodger dugout as Chad Billingsley and Brent Leach. One man worked a lot. Billingsley 117 pitches. Brent Leach made 1 pitch. So you're looking at a study in contrast besides left and right. Darren Balsley out to the mound to talk to Marino to make sure he remembers how they want him to pitch to Mark Loretta. It is no surprise that Mark Loretta and Brad Ausmus have each had long careers. It's certainly no surprise when you come into the ballpark today at about 20 of 3 this afternoon, and both Mark Loretta and Brad Ausmus are in uniform, and they are riding a stationary bike.
Mark Loretta.
And you say, well, no wonder they've been around so long. I mean, they really work at it. And now at 9:14, after riding that bike at 2:30 this afternoon, almost 7 hours ago, here he is asked to come up and pinch hit. So the bases are loaded. Dodgers trying to bust it open here, leading 5-3 with Blake, Martin, and Kemp out there. And in the dirt, nice save by Hundley. 1 ball and no strikes. So a moment of truth for the young man from Venezuela, Edwin Moreno. Blake down the line from third. Martin out there at second. Matt Kemp at first. 2 out. Loretta twice this year has come up with the bases loaded, and he is 2 for 2 with 4 runs batted in. As a pinch hitter, he's hitting .333 with 3 RBIs. That's his strike. 1-1. Blake, Martin, and Kemp all out there with 2 out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now back 1-2. On deck, waiting his turn, Juan Pierre. One and 2 to Mark Loretta. And a fly ball to right field, but Giles is at the other end of it. So no runs, 2 hits, 3 left. And at the end of 6, Dodgers 5, Padres 3. Voting is going so far. Remember, we asked which National League leader surprises you the most. Miguel Tejada with his .354 batting average, Adrian Gonzalez with his 22 home runs, or Raul Ibanez with his 54 runs batted in. Well, so far, 52% of you say Adrian Gonzalez is the big surprise, 33% Raul Ibanez, 15% Miguel Tejada. Text your answer to 86212. We'll see how it comes out. Tony Gwynn, David Eckstein, and Brian Giles will be facing Ronald Belisario. And one of the keys to his success, the strikeout to walk ratio, a little bit better than 2-1. And a solid earned run average. So Belisario will be pitching to the top of the order. 5 hits up there. Gwynn with 3, Eckstein with 2, Giles with 1. Belisario is the workhorse in his 30th game. Ball 1. Tony Gwynn single to center in the first inning, single to center in the third, double to right in the fifth. Strike. Gwynn tried to go from second to third on a pitch in the dirt in the first inning, and he was nailed. Hundley basically tried to do the same thing in the fourth, and he was nailed. So the Padres trailed by 2, and they had 2 outs at third base. Did he? Yes, he did, says Bill Welke. 1-2 the count to Tony. It just seems right, doesn't it, that he should be playing for San Diego. He's hitting .358, by the way. See ya. Yeah, good fastball that just jumped at him. So 1 out in the 7th inning. And the batter now will be David Eckstein. So Belisario pumps one in there, and they get Gwynn for the first time. Eckstein single to right, single to center, and fly to right. And a strike. 0-1. Eckstein, a little tough to pitch with. He's about 5'6", and makes it tough bend at the knees and waist. 1-1. Ronald Belisario, 6'2", about 180, from Venezuela, Aragua. Ball 2, 2-1. Fastball, slider, and changeup. Eckstein doing anything to get aboard with Giles on deck. Two and 1. Fouled away. Eckstein had that home run in the 9th inning to propel the game with Arizona into extra innings. Two and 2. And ground ball speared by Loney. Overhands to Belisario. And we have 2 out here in the 7th inning. The batter will be Brian Giles.
Padres right fielder, number 24.
Giles single to center, scored a run, flied to left, grounded to short. Giles 5'10", a very stocky 205 pounds. One reason that Giles is hitting as poorly as he is he has really been stopped by left-hand pitching. One stage he was hitting 125 against left-handers. 1 ball and no strikes. And that's it to center. Kemp going back. So a 1-2-3 inning for Ronald Belisario. And at the end of 6.5 innings, Dodgers 5, Padres 3. The crowd will now be asked to join in the singing of God Bless America.
The singing of God Bless America.
The Clubhouse combo for a chance to win a Blue Man Group getaway to Las Vegas. Tonight's winning combination is 54, 27, 16. Enter now on KCAL9.com, brought to you by Wingstop.
Dodgers leading 5-3 after the Padres scored 2 in the first inning. Andre Ethier homered. Dodgers came back with another in the second inning to tie it up. Then they went ahead when Ethier hit his second home run of the game. Meanwhile, Chad Billingsley really struggled. Very gutsy performance, 117 pitches, but he hung in there and could very well come up with a victory. The Padres have had ample opportunity to score a bunch of runs, and they are 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Though it is 5-3 in favor of the Dodgers. And Mike Adams will pick up. Also, we have a new catcher behind the plate because Nick Hundley's wrist, no doubt, is giving him a bad time. And Henry Blanco takes over behind the plate. So Adams and Blanco, and we're in the bottom of the 7th, 5-3 Dodgers. Fouled away. For Adams, just recently called up, so he's in his first game. Mike is a Texan from Corpus Christi. He was acquired from Cleveland. 6'5", about 205 pounds. Fly ball to left field. Chase Headley is right there. So Pierre goes 0 for 4 as he flies to left, 1 away.
Down for second baseman, number 13, Orlando Hudson.
Orlando Hudson now fouled out, flied out, and homered. So Orlando 1 for 3. In case you're joining us late, the Dodgers have hit 4 home runs in the game, 2 by Ethier, 1 by Hudson, 1 by Kemp, all of them with the bases empty. When the Padres come up in the 8th inning, they will have Gonzalez, Kuzminov, and Headley. Kuzminov knocked in the 2 runs in the first inning. Fly ball to Gwynn. So quickly with 2 out, here comes the home run man, Andre Ethier. He had already worn out Chris Young with 4 previous home runs, and he hit one in the first inning just inside the right field foul pole. And then in the 3rd inning, he got a fastball down around the knees and hit that in the bleachers. So Andre has a half a dozen home runs against Chris Young. Go back 4 years ago, he stopped Choi. Last time up, Andre hit a long fly ball to center. Tony Gwynn caught it standing on the track. So Ethier batting .276 with 2 home runs tonight. He now has 11 and 37 runs batted in. His 11 home runs leads the club. 1-1. Billingsley, then Leach and Belisario, Young, Marino, and Adams. Dodgers have had at least 1 hit in every inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Off speed on the outside corner. Good pitch, 1-2. Couple of new faces on the Padre team, with Edwin Marino being called back, with Mike Adams coming over, and they also have Wade LeBlanc down in the bullpen. 1-2. You have to hope that Nick Hundley is not seriously injured, having been hit on the wrist by a Billingsley fastball at 93. So Nick bit the bullet, tried to stay in, and they have taken him out in favor of Henry Blanco. 1-2. Still 1-2. 5 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, 3 runs, 8 hits for the Padres. James Loney waiting on deck. 2-2. Padres scored 2 in the first inning, if you weren't with us. Ethier homered. Then Ethier homered again. Dodgers also got a run when Furcal walked, stole second. Hundley's throw sailed into center, and then Kemp had a base hit. So the Dodgers led 3-2. And a base hit to left field. So Ethier's having a big night. 2 home runs and a single.
Dodgers first baseman, James Loney.
So Ethier with 2 homers and a single and a long out to center field. And James Loney 0 for 3 coming up. So Ethier is surrounded. Hudson homered. And now is Loney 0 for 3. Blake has a base hit. Russell Martin has 2 hits, and so does Matt Kemp. Strike. 0-1. Padres actually tied up the game in the 5th inning. Then the Dodgers came back with 2 more. Home runs by Kemp and Hudson. Ethier doesn't do a lot of running, but he is successful 3 out of 4. Eckstein plays on the grass at second base. And there he goes. Pitch a strike. Oh, is he out from me to you? Oh, perfect throw by Blanco. And Andres hung out to dry. So no runs, 1 hit, nobody left. And at the end, it's 7-5-3 Dodgers. Moving forward. Brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Toyota, moving forward. 8th inning, 5-3 in favor of the Dodgers, and the Dodgers now bring in Ramon Troncoso. So Billingsley went 5 2/3. Leach came in and made 1 pitch to get an out. Belisario worked the 7th inning and made 11 pitches, and now here is Ramon. Troncoso has done a great job, and Joe Torre was saying before the game, on the 8th inning, you'd like to have 1 guy, and right now, if everyone was available, Troncoso would be that guy. Well, here he is on schedule in the 8th. Ramon from the Dominican, working on Adrian Gonzalez, who could very well have made a big impression on the score, but has not. The Dodgers set up their picket fence on the right side. Adrian just trying to get aboard the bunt. 0-1. He came up with 2 on in the 1st inning, and Billingsley really struggling and struck out on a high fastball. In the 3rd inning, he came up with 2 on and 1 out, fly to left. And then the last time up, they walked him intentionally, and he got away with it. 1-1. So in many ways, Adrian Gonzalez decides many of San Diego's games, whether they win or they lose, depending upon what he does with whatever scoring opportunities they give him. That's a strike. Hitting .279, he has 22 home runs 43 runs batted in. I'm sure he's annoyed at himself for taking that pitch. Two and two. Ted Williams always said, know thyself. Learn your strike zone. When you first come up early in the count, look for the pitch in the sweetest spot, and if you get it, swing. And I think what happened was Adrian got a pitch in the spot and let it go by. 2 and 2. Breaking ball in the dirt. 3 and 2. Troncoso, about 6'2", 200-pounder. Signed as a free agent by the Dodgers 7 years ago. Basically, fastball, slider, and a change. He has a very good sinking fastball. 3 and 2. The old story, the catcher suggests and the pitcher pitches. So a lot of times the catcher will go through the signs and the pitcher doesn't show an inkling which way he wants to go, so the catcher will have to go back there again. I think you ought to do this. And then the pitcher says, yeah, but I think I want to do that. And meanwhile, Gonzalez waits. 3 and 2. It's 5-3 Dodgers, 8th inning. And he's aboard. So a leadoff walk will bring up Kuzminov. Introducing the Junior Dodgers dance team. Believe it or not, dancers 8 to 18 can learn from professionals who have taught for MTV, the NFL, and NBA, then perform on the field at Dodger Stadium in front of fans, family, and friends. Clinics begin June 13th. To sign up for more information, call 888-341-1765 or visit Dodgers.com/Junior Dodgers. Right to Kuzminov. Kevin singled, grounded out twice. He's also had a big chance to change the game around. His base hit in the first inning drove in 2, but then he left 2 in the 3rd inning, and he left 2 in the 5th inning. And again, boy, a new supply of baseballs tonight. Every time the ball goes into the dirt, they throw it out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fastball missed. 2 and 1. Dodgers 5 runs, 9 hits. Padres 3 runs, 8 hits. Billingsley, Leach, Belisario, and Troncoso. Billingsley in line to pick up his 8th win. Fastball, but he missed. 3 and 1. Kuzminov with 5 home runs. He has 27 runs batted in. Kuzminov hit a grand slam on the very first pitch he saw in the big league. I mean, that was right out of the natural. He did it September the 2nd, 2006. Only 3 major leaguers had hit a grand slam in their first game. Bobby Bonds, Jeremy Hermedia, and then you go way back to 1898, Bill Duggleby. But he did it on the first pitch. Comes up empty. So Gonzalez at first with 1 out, and Chase Headley coming up.
Left fielder number 7, Chase
Well,
Headley.
for Headley to watch Kuzminov strike out. Headley is not only 0 for 3, he has struck out all 3 times. Headley has struck out 58 times. That would be far and away the most strikeouts on the Padre club. Hitting .228. And a line drive to center, base hit. Stopping at second is Gonzalez. So first and second, one out, and Henry Blanco will be coming up.
Catcher, number 28, Henry Blanco.
Well, Blanco will have his first at bat, and Rick Honeycutt going out to make sure that Troncoso knows how they want to pitch him. While Hundley was in there, Nick had fouled out, double down the left field line, and was hit by a pitch. Hit by the pitch on the wrist, and Blanco, a former Dodger. Henry checking in. Looking back through the books, Blanco was signed by the Dodgers at a high school in Venezuela back in 1989, and he made the usual stops: Great Falls, Vero Beach, Bakersfield, up through Albuquerque. First came up to the Dodgers very briefly in '97, and then disappeared from the Dodgers. We saw him with the Rockies, the Brewers, the Braves, the Twins, the Cubs, and now the Cubs again, and here he is with the Padres. 0-1 to Henry. Henry will be 38 the end of August. Born in Caracas. A broken bat ground ball for Call to feed to Hudson. He'll turn it easily. So no runs, one hit, one left, and at the end of 7.5, it remains 5-3 Dodgers. Message question: which National League leader surprises you the most? Miguel Tejada with his .354 batting average, Adrian Gonzalez with his 22 home runs, or Raul Ibanez with his 54 runs batted in? 58% of you said Adrian Gonzalez, the big surprise, with 22 home runs after 57 games. Meanwhile, the fourth San Diego pitcher enters the game, side armor Clay Meredith. It's been Young, Moreno, Adams, and now Meredith. Ramon Troncoso made 16 pitches. The Padres are doing what the opposition has been doing for the year against the Dodgers. They are failing to convert. Opponents are hitting under 190 with runners in scoring position against the Dodgers this year. How about the Padres? They're worse than that. They're 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. So the Dodgers will have Loney, Blake, and Martin. Ethier, remember, nailed in the 7th inning, running on the pitch. Right. Down in the Dodger bullpen, big Jonathan Broxton ready to pitch the 9th. Kenny Howell watching him carefully. And Loney lifts one into shallow left, and it will be Headley making the catch. So Loney a fly ball, 1 away in the 8th inning. James goes 0 for 4. And Casey Blake will be the batter.
Baseman number 23, Casey Blake.
Casey Blake 0 for 2 in the past against Meredith. Loney is 1 for 7 against him. Casey flied to center, grounded to short, singled. Ground ball to the left of Wilson. Josh diving, and it went off his glove. Big breaking ball. 2-0 the count. Three and 0. Elise Claiborne Meredith III. And the Clay is C-L-A in the lead of the name Claiborne. So a walk to Blake, and that'll bring up Martin. Clay's been around. First came up with the Red Sox 4 years ago. He was originally drafted by the Red Sox out of Virginia Commonwealth University. 26 years old. Martin popped up and has had 2 singles. Russell 2 for 3. 0-1 to count. Big breaking ball, check swing, no swing. Jim Reynolds down there to indicate 1-1 to count. Meredith, with that unusual delivery, he developed that sidearm throwing when he was playing shortstop, emulating Cal Ripken Jr. And then when he took the mound at college, he found it a natural sinking motion on his pitches, stayed with it. And here he is in the big league. Submarine and 3/4. 2-1 to count. Also, to show you how they specialize today, he was a closer in college. 2-1. 3-1. Well, with Martin up there, if they wanted to, they could very well put run and hit. So we'll keep an eye on Blake. Casey's not going. 3-2. So they didn't put it on 3-1. We'll see what they do. 3-2. Raphael football on deck. In the previous inning, remember, with Loney at the plate, Ethier took off and was nailed. We'll watch Casey as a short lead. Henry Blanco threw Ethier out easily in the 7th inning. Well, we'll watch Casey. And so will they. 3-2. There goes Blake, and it's fouled away. So they didn't play it 3-1, but they put it on 3-2. On deck, Raphael for call. Well, he was going once, 3-2. You believe he's going to go again. Yep. And it's ball 4. So with 1 out, Meredith walks 2, and the batter will be Raphael for call. By the way, when the Padres come up in the 9th inning, they are due to send up Josh Wilson. They've already used Will Venable, so they still have Edgar Gonzalez and Cliff Floyd. And Bud Black making his notes. And ball 1. Ground ball to the hole, through into right field. So Blake will score, and Giles gets the ball back into second. Stopping at second is Martin, and the Dodgers lead 6-3. So for call goes 1 for 3 with a base hit and a run batted in. So Meredith, a couple of walks and a single. Smiles in the dugout as Casey brings the run in, and now Matt Kemp coming up with 2 on and 1 out in the 8th. Jamie Hoffman instead will be Blake DeWitt coming out of the Dodger dugout as a pinch hitter. Matt Kemp singled, homered, and was walked intentionally, hitting .311. And 1 ball and no strikes. So Meredith paying the price, pitching behind. Kemp is 2 for 7 against him. That would be a .286 batting average. 1 ball and no strikes. That's in there. 1-1. Paid attendance tonight, 35,313. 35,313. Off the plate, ball 2. And a little roller up along third. Kuzminov off balance and too late. Kevin Kuzminov unable to get enough on the throw, especially when you have a guy like Kemp who runs so very well. So an infield single, and Matt Kemp 2 singles and a home run. There's that off balance throw. Bang, bang play in favor of Kemp. So Blake DeWitt has just been called up. Will take over for Kevin Kuzminov. He's had a couple of dives in the dirt, but he's been unable to come up with the ball. Now the slow roller. And the Dodgers have loaded the bases with 1 out. And here is DeWitt batting for Troncoso. And ball 1, and that's it with Meredith. He's missed on every hitter. Martin for call and Kemp all out there. Ground foul. 1-1. So Blake DeWitt up and been down this year and back up again. Six runs, 11 hits for the Dodgers. 3 runs, 9 hits for the Padres. DeWitt was recalled Sunday from Albuquerque when Eric Milton went on the DL. For Eric, he had that bad back. So Blake DeWitt in his 3rd stint with the Dodgers this year. He had been in a combined 9 games, and he went 3 for 17. Had a couple of home runs at Albuquerque. And a roller that will at 1 out and 2 out. So DeWitt gets into the double play, and the Dodgers have to settle for the run driven in by Rafael Furcal. And at the end of 8, it's 6-3 Dodgers as Mariano argues at first. Leading the Padres 6-3, and they give the ball to Jonathan Broxton to try to lock up shop. Look at the ratio, strikeouts to walk, 47-10. John with a perfect 6-0 and a brilliant ERA of 1.2. Edgar Gonzalez will lead it off as a pinch hitter, and then Cliff Floyd is out on deck as well. So it'll be Gonzalez, Floyd, and Gwynn in that order.
Your attention, please.
Edgar Gonzalez facing Broxton.
Edgar Gonzalez.
And it looks like this would be Edgar's first at bat against him. Six-3 Dodgers, 9th inning. Fastball strike. Here we go. Started him at 95. Oh and 1. Another 95. 0 and 2 the count, Edgar. Edgar Gonzalez has had great fortune against Chad Billingsley, but he didn't face him. He's 5 for 9 against Billingsley. 0 and 2. Kevin Correa for San Diego and Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers tomorrow night to conclude the brief 2-game series and the homestand. 1 and 2. 2-2. A Dodger victory tonight would make their record 40-20, and at home 23-8. 2-2. Interesting to look at all the division leaders in the major leagues. 34 wins would be the tops by the Yankees. And then you have the Dodgers on the edge of winning their 40th tonight. Top record at home. Minnesota's won 21 at home. A Dodger victory would give them 23. 2-2 to Edgar Gonzalez. So Mr. Edgar, meet Mr. Broxton, his first appearance, and down he goes. No trickery, just a good fastball, and Edgar unable to catch up with it. So now the veteran Cliff Floyd coming up. Big Cliff with one out in the ninth, 6-3 Dodgers. Dodgers 2 outs away from beating San Diego 10 out of 11 at Dodger Stadium and 7 out of 9 so far this year. Little ground ball for a call. Plenty of time with Floyd. The Padres, when they played the 18-inning game, went hitless after the 9th inning. Tonight, they have had 1 hit since the 5th inning. And that was followed by a double play ball. So with 2 out, here is Tony Gwynn. 2 singles, a double, and struck out. This will be his introduction to Jonathan Broxton. Ball 1. Singled up the middle in the first, single up the middle in the third, doubled into the right field corner. And Broxton has been just eating left-handers for lunch. That's his foul. Left-hand batters against Jonathan Broxton are 3 for 51. That would mean the left-hand batter's batting average against him is .059. Unbelievable. 1-1. One and 2. Dodgers 6, Padres 3, 2 out in the 9th. And everybody up now. They want a punch out to end the game. They've got the right guy on the mound to get it. One and 2. Fouled away. And that was 95. Padres actually led in this game for one brief moment. They had 2 in the first inning. Dodgers came back with single runs in each of the first 3 innings. Padres came back with a run in the 5th to tie it. Dodgers answered with 2 and then added 1 more to lead 6-3. 1 and 2 to Tony Gwynn. Fouled away. Tony struck out in the 7th inning, but he is certainly holding his own at the plate. He's only struck out 11 times this year. to the backstop. 2-2 the count. A couple of things about Broxton when he throws as hard as he does. He has one wild pitch. He has hit one batter. Two out, ninth inning, 6-3 Dodgers, 2-2 to Tony Gwynn. And ball 3. Waiting on deck would be David Eckstein. Seeing Eckstein go up there would make you think of David and Goliath for sure. Tony Gwynn is 6 feet. Doesn't look 190, but that's what they say. 3-2. And he wins the battle. Good for him. Well, it'll make his dad feel proud. So young Tony battles Broxton for a walk. And now we do have David and Goliath. David single to right, single to center, fly to right, grounded out. When Eckstein had the dramatic home run with 2 men aboard in the 9th inning against Arizona, that was his first home run in a span of 216 at bats. There goes Gwynn. They're not going to pay any attention. There's no stolen base. Defensive indifference. 0-1 the count to David Eckstein. Fastball, pop foul, Loney over to take a look, but that's all. Eckstein is 1 for 5 in the past against Broxton. Jonathan struck out Gonzalez, got Floyd, walked Gwynn. Tony Gwynn had a 10-pitch at-bat in the 5th inning against Billingsley in doubles. He had a good at-bat in the 9th, so it's been a very impressive debut for him wearing a San Diego uniform against the Dodgers. 0-2 to Eckstein. And a line drive base hit, and Hoffman will wave Gwynn in. That makes it 6-4. So David and Goliath, and David with the slingshot gets the base hit and a run batted in. So Eckstein's 3rd hit. Gwynn scores, and the batter now is Brian Giles. So the Dodgers 6 runs, 11 hits. The Padres 4 runs, 10 hits. Giles single to center in the 1st inning. Since then, flied to left, grounded to short, and lined out to center. So Brian is 1 for 4. And there goes Eckstein. They're not going to go after him. Again, no stolen base. The one thing it does do, though, and that's why they're running, it takes away the easy force play. And another strike. Pretty tough to have your number 3 hitter in the lineup hitting 190. So that's what the Padres have. And of course the big gun on deck, Adrian Gonzalez. Giles has 21 runs batted in. He's 0 for 8 against Broxton. No balls and 2 strikes. For Broxton, he's had to work a little bit harder than normally, facing his 5th batter, and he's made 21 pitches. And of course, the big moment for San Diego is if they can get him up there. But there are 2 outs. 0-2. And a little foul ball. We mentioned earlier that Giles in his career usually managed to walk as much or even more so than strike out. This year it's close. 23 walks, 26 strikeouts. 0-2. Outside corner at the knees, so the number 3 hitter is caught looking. Adrian waits on deck and never gets to the plate. Andre Ethier with 2 home runs. Kemp and Hudson joined him in home